Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're going to be talking about the spell Sunbeam. All right, we recently talked about Sunburst. How does this differ?
This differs in a pretty major way. So Sunbeam, Sunburst is a one-time giant explosion, blinds things for a minute. Sunbeam is you get a 60-foot lightning bolt of sun that blinds things that it damages, that fail it's the save to take damage until the start of your next turn. And then, as an action for the next minute, if you can maintain concentration on this, you can do it again. And you can just keep shooting out beams of bursts of light and fry everything around you for 68 damage a pop. I think this spell
really
is super
cool.
sweet.
Yeah, I like it. I'm already sold on it.
This we talked about Vampiric Touch before about how like a spell giving you an action is a little bit awkward because you might want to be using your action to cast other spells and stuff, and you have to want to use the action the spell's giving you for it to be good. Vampiric Touch's action sucks. Sunbeam's action is pretty good. Sunbeam's action is quite exceptional. It's way better than a cantrip. It's doing good damage in an interesting area. This spell really hits all the marks for me as a spell that I want to build a character around. This is a spell that I want on my character sheet with the expectation of using it consistently.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I mean, effectively, it's damage and blinding, just like Sunburst. But you can keep. That's a lot of fun. And this is 6th level, right?
Yes.
Whereas Sunburst was 8th. 8th.
This is doing notably like substantially less damage. 68 versus 12.
I mean, it is in a one-time instance, but I mean, it has the potential to do more.
So that I think is a little disingenuous, and the reason I think it's disingenuous is because you're
spending
it is a huge
actions.
Area. Well, the area, yes, that's one.
Yeah.
You're getting a 60-foot sphere is enormous. And on top of that, you're spending one action to do 12d6 damage. This is spending 2 actions to do 16d or 12d8. Yeah. And 12d8 is more, but it costs you double the actions.
Right. So, yeah, you could be doing other things after your Sunburst.
Your other actions can be happening after the Sunburst. It could be a second Sunburst if you're high enough level, right? It can be upcasted more fireballs in bigger areas, right? There's definitely going to be times where you can spend your actions to do more total damage. What Sunbeam does is let you do enough damage for a lower resource cost. So this is a spell that's going to be better in games where you feel more taxed on your spells. There's going to be a 6th level spell that you're pretty happy to like, all right, I'm really excited I just got Sunbeam for the big fight that we're going against lots of little things that are going to be coming at us in waves. We're going a necromancer that keeps raising the dead. I have a tool to keep frying them. I have a minute-long 6th level spell that's going to last me most of the fight. At least 3 or 4 rounds until I drop concentration or whatever it is. And that is where I think the spell really shines its brightest. It's basically the moment you get it. And as you get past that, it starts to be a little less good as you start realizing there's no real way I'm burning through all my spell slots before our next long rest.
Wow. Like, all right. Or here's a scenario. You got this theme. I want to be a sun sorcerer. I hit everybody with Sunburst first, and pick off the stragglers with my Sunbeam.
Yeah. If you're in an encounter that cares enough about both of those, holy cow, you are fighting literally thousands of creatures. Like, oh, baby, we're talking unending ranks of undead, kind of quantities of monsters for that to be.
Or strong enough ones that Sunburst doesn't quite take out, 60% of them.
And then you're spending the next 4 rounds lasering them. Just get them in a line and fry them. I definitely think Sunbeam, it can be that kind of instance. There definitely will be encounters where you'll be happy to use this. There will definitely be encounters where you'll use it in combination with your spells. It conserving resources is good. In games that are heavily taxed, it's great. It also is just really fun for the players that like to care about things like their positioning. It's great for games and people that like weird spell distances and areas, because lines are generally speaking pretty garbage because you have to line up things in awkward ways and you're not getting everyone you want. Big spheres, big squares tend to hit way more things just because things come at you in groups and masses at different speeds. It's way easier to get more things encompassed in there and way easier to get your allies out of there. Whenever you have a fixed line from you, you have to care where you're standing. You have to care what are in and out of it. You have to weigh odd options. Like, can I just stand safely behind the paladin and just let him get blinded by this? It's neat. It's nifty. This also has the flexibility where like you can even if you're only hitting one creature with it, I think a lot of time you're pretty happy if you can get that creature to consistently fail. If you're against a big undead or a big ooze, getting to consistently do 68 damage to it and blind it round after round, that's pretty solid. That can be consistently granting advantage attacks on creatures against it. So
can oozes see?
I'm gonna go with some of them can.
All right.
I don't know. They can be blinded, I think. Can oozes be blinded? I'm going to Google that real quick. Can oozes be blinded? A creature with blind sight, creatures without eyes such as oozes cannot be blinded. Unlucky.
Well, that disadvantage doesn't seem so special now.
Yeah, it does seem a little bit worse, but it does give you, they'll take more damage.
Still because of the damage.
Yeah. I don't know. This is a spell you would like. I feel like you would want to carry.
I definitely like
right?
it.
Yeah. This
I would like it better if it was like a cleric or paladin spell, though. I mean,
agreed.
It really feels like that.
100% agreed. It's a little bit wild to me that this is a sorcerer wizard spell. Yeah, druid's like power of the sun. Cleric feels like by the holy light. I don't know. Right. That seems like it make a lot of sense. It doesn't. It's on. I guess sorcerers and wizards needed more area of effect damage spells.
Maybe this is a Galileo thing.
Yeah, I guess it's the astronomers and the towers. I've done the math and calculations with the wizard, and I reflect the sun into a beam of light, and it's the laser. What's the Galileo's death beam? Was that the thing? Someone made a death beam in history, and they tested it on Mythbusters.
I was just talking about, the church doesn't like it.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I'm talking about the
what the hell you're talking about.
Some famous historical figure supposedly made a death ray. Archimedes. Okay. It was Archimedes' death ray. Right. We got there. It didn't work. I don't know.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Well, probably for the best.
Probably for the best. This spell is all around.
We got there eventually.
That we did. The spell's all around perfectly fine. Again, I did recently write about the investiture spells, and they're similar to this. I always have a hard time playing characters that take them that spells this high of level to give me new actions, because normally by that stage of the game I already have like a defined thing I like to be doing in combat, and I think a lot of people are going to have a similar problem where they're going to take Sunbeam and then you're going to feel kind of shit if you cast it once, then want to cast something else the next round, and then want to cast something different the round after that, and then you only got a 68 beam out of this, and this is definitely not worth like the 168 beam. You really want to be wanting to use this action several times a fight for it to be good. So I think there will be some players that do struggle if they take this to be like, I'm not actually getting good use out of this. This is actually pretty bad for me. Other tables that are playing more resource intensive games, that are playing a little bit more old school style, long grindy adventures where you're running out of resources consistently, this is a great all-in-one fight kind of spell. This is a great, I'm going to guarantee I'm using this 4 or 5 times an encounter kind of spell. That's where I think it's going to really shine its brightest at.
Or players like me, I just want to shoot sunbeams on my hand.
There will be absolutely some people that are, and I don't mean this in any offense, I mean this entirely complimentary, that just want to turn your brain off and cast Sunbeam and keep spamming it round after round after round, and they
that was a little offensive.
I like to do that too. Listen, I have many times where I will be playing a video game and I just want to turn my brain off and blow things up, right? That's like, I don't want to have to think about this. I've had a few and I'm here with my friends and everyone's laughing about shit. I don't want to have to think about how hard it is to, cast this spell and what does that spell do again. I just want to shoot lasers from my hands and light things on fire. And that's what Sunbeam gives you.
All right. Well, guess it's time to turn off my brain. Anything else?
I don't mean it's like I don't want to have to critically think. We've all been there.
All right, what's your score for this?
3. This is a perfectly fine spell. This isn't busted. This isn't crazy broken or anything. But this is usable. There'll be people that really have a good time with it.
Again, just like I did with Sunburst, for the aesthetic, giving it a 4.
Go do it.
Fun times.
Oh yeah. Iron Man.
All right. That was Sunbeam, everyone. Thank you, Sam, and thank you, everyone, for joining us. We will see you next time. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it. A gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.